So let's get breakdown of Friday Night Smackdown. So Friday Night Smackdown was a really good show tonight. So if you want to buy something like you get one North Atkinson. All my expenses below right here on my expenses on the bottom below on my YouTube. So anyone that buys something like www.shop.com and you want to buy something on with a immediate t-shirts, it's now available on Jerry Shop, Hasbro, and they get 2 Super Rays, and so much more. So I like the part about Smackdown tonight, and I'll go with on Smackdown tonight, and I'm gonna go with 8 without a 9. So Smackdown was alright because it was a good show, I think. So it was a good show. So here's an everything to know about Smackdown. It's a final go home. So in tomorrow night we have WrestleMania coming up tomorrow night at night 1. So here's an everything to know about tonight's Smackdown. Here's the full results and the full reviews and highlights. So let me grab a daily clip highlights for a night. So give me 1 second. So give me 1 second here, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna start doing reviews. Okay. So first off, we have the forces all loud. Agent of Smackdown has opened with a flavor package and highlights into the history of WrestleMania. Randy Orton and Pat McAfee has arrived at backstage, and he was told Nick Aldis to handed to Pat McAfee a contract of some kind of wallow. Everything tipped so Papa made his way to the ring. The 46-year-old. He took his time getting to the ring, and he said he will be the force to eliminate. He doesn't need Pat McAfee, but he wants him in his corner. So I think he was because he isn't a straight shooter who reminded him who he is. I think when he mentioned about Cody Rhodes, so Tyler crowd let out a chorus of boos. He said all Cody Rhodes has ever done in their friendship is take, and he ended this promo without being interrupted or attacked. I think this was nothing we haven't heard already, but it wasn't bad. I think it was pretty standard assessment, and it was designed to build a match. Randy Orton got in Pat McAfee's truck and they drove away. So I just said Foley, the, between the video package was good, but it was impossible to assume of over 40 years of events in just a couple of minutes. And so many miserable moments were left out that you have to hand it to Pat McAfee. And he is good at playing someone you love to hate. And it is kind of interesting how the title call has turned on both Cody Rhodes, a saving thing in recent weeks. So, this is what Randy Orton said. After he is getting the title tomorrow night, and his Easter eggs has dropped. After come on, Randy Orton has this Pat McAfee of RKO, anyone upset. I want Randy Orton to win with 15, but I'm not with Pat, but by his side. I like Pat, but he don't want him getting involved between his masses. So I like this honesty in a good promo ready. Randy Orton's cooking with that a very promo, the permission me bumper in this full hair mode, who's ready for the fallout on Smackdown into WrestleMania. So, who is Cody Rhodes to tell me? Who is Pat McAfee to tell you anything? So, I like Randy Orton's promo assessment. Randy Orton is confident he's taking 50 home tomorrow into WrestleMania. I can't wait. I just hope the rumors are true of Randy Orton being in a lot of pain isn't true. Randy Orton made a so good points about Cody Rhodes tonight on Smackdown. WWE, and you heard that booed. That was not for Randy Orton, that was only for Pat. That's not playing a heel. That's us or not wanting him in this storyline. So I think there was no reason he shouldn't walk away with that title, and he can leave Pat behind too. I hope Randy Orton beats Cody Rhodes tomorrow, I think. So, Cody Rhodes will face Randy Orton of Wrestling tomorrow for the undisputed championship without any Paul Pale promo and sings. Can we just make the Hall of Fame be all Smackdown and Ghetto? I just said so before. WrestleMania is partners at 8, and we don't need the Hall of Fame at midnight on East Coast. So, I'm sorry, I want Randy Orton to be 15 times more Serbian, But what if this is how he's gonna win? Win it is to complete it. It is it's lame. When he did a good job, he putting everything together as to why he is pissed at Cody Rhodes before. And so, I agree with Pat McAfee was not made in this match, but he has been in anything he done during his title run, and I love that Bossy not playing itself on Smackdown. So I am so sorry for Randy Orton is doing with TKO with Pat McAfee. I think was such a life out his feud with Cody Rhodes for months, and his request for number 15. I didn't wait away to miss musical, but going to retire, and then bring cast at Pat's is likely. So I think so. Here's the next match. So have Survivor 6 taking on against MFTs. I think last time Info Access Survivor 6 has undefeated the MFTs on Smackdown March the 13th. After the fourth match of the night was a hanged 8-man street fight by all the 5 members. After other MFTs were induced by the announcer, so it was, and this was not going to be kept to the 8-men involved. Tommy Talkett was still showing clear signs of his slight issues with South Dakota before the match begins. There was a hand soon as the bell has won, and everyone started brawling for the fight, and there was no tags and no rules. So this was all to place, normally. So I knew we're not going to be around to pass up with this one. This feud in the overstate is welcome a long time ago and has been on live support for several weeks. So I don't know if this is not the end of it, and it is clear. WWE doesn't know how to end the full story. After the match had a couple of miserable moments, but it was more of a mess than the controlling. And you would hope for a bout like this. Is a color pinned Uncle Hattie to get to the win and hurry to end this story once and for all. So, in the winner on this match, the MFTs. I think it would be cool whenever Social Code had a special definite face paint instead of going without it. I think when the West of this full group of news it As of 8, a reminder that Naked Cross hasn't ate on television match since back in of September of last year in 2024. Ajit took the hit every going took from steel steps was wild. So Ajit Cross took out Jungle Lower with a crossbody from the top rope. So, speaking about Ticket Fight 2, all gas, no brakes. Was it after a for you package and basically police car and wasn't going into certain area Ticket Fight 2 and Mr. from the back seat is still on top of the car. After he gave a promo, he was distracted at his WrestleMania opponent. The McIntyre he made it clear that it has things a lot since his legal troubles in to put the McIntyre in his past just like his current records. And this was pretty simple, but it was until Ticket Fight 2 didn't need 10 minutes or even a full of 5, he said. And if it was everything he needed to say, and then it was all. It was forcing. And he went to Liz and Maurice tried to renew their vows in Las Vegas. Miss Kate wasn't overseeing everything, but then has caused the party. So we have Damian Priest and R-Truth. Our last time info absence, Damian Priest and R-Truth has undefeated The Miz, and Kate wasn't a Smackdown episode and planned on defeating Kofi Kingston on Raw March 30th, and Dragon Lee on defeating Grayson Waller in main event March 27th. After the next match, it was like Damian Priest and R-Truth on defeating their tag team championships against Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller. After the offer of harmony, and Grayson Waller got a match going with a fast pace, it seems, before Truth tagging in and take all he spent a long time on defense, and while Grayson Waller and Kingston took turns beating him down. I developed a match for a little pain by numbers and didn't have any moments that stood out as probably bad of all the 4 men of all the great athletes. So even if they isn't doing something exciting, what they do always looks good. Damian Priest got to the pin for his team to retain the titles. And the winner on this match, Damian Priest and R-Truth. Xavier Woods is joining with and easily with his wife. He was not competing in this match alongside with Kingston. Wasn't even for WWE. One match is a forced out is ridiculous. If you bought a ticket to Smackdown, will you be happy with just one match in 60 minutes? Grayson Waller and coffee kissing not some with busted bills out of your hands and place it all took away, said Elaine. So have mommy inside a storm. Was it after the commercial break? See, Carter came out of Fangled by missing a big flap before she could even say 2 words. Into Wade Waverly, into music hits, she said. She isn't losing a permanent person who wants to take Sade out. After everything she had done, but she is wanting to wait for this weekend because she doesn't want Collier to have an excuse whenever she lose. And these things ended without any profit risk was a nice things for these two. They didn't do much to make their upcoming match more interesting, but they addressed it well enough for this not feel like a waste of time. Cody Graves was doing a lot on commentary to try to hype this match for WrestleMania. You see comments about Waverly and bring a rough kid with crossing field is followed by vampires and wrestling comments about Waverly bring a puzzle glass and was warning things for him to say into the first place. So here's the next match. We have Sonnen Grace goes 1-1 against Terry Stratton. Our last time info as the Sonnen Grace, all your feet sending figure a main event April 10th. So Terry Stratton lost to Xavier on Smackdown March 27th. This was announced. Also, the has a U.S. title match between Terry Stratton and Xavier, but it was the sings to Terry Stratton against Sonnen Grace for a Universal title shot. Alex Xavier and Canada Sings losses from a ringside has had 2 baby faces squad up and Terry Stratton had his slight power but not by much. Also due to the heavy storm, it wasn't to enter the area. I lost the power and was unable to see most of this match, so it will be infield to bring over a grade for something we can't review. Honestly, Terry's called to the win to own a first title shot. And the winner on this match, Terry Stratton. Anything else with Sonnen Grace can pick up all opponents no seems to be impossible. Elliot was one of Gunga Bread Man. Drake Williams came out to talk about Sami Zayn taking out Lily and losing from last week with a hula kick. And it seemed like Sami Zayn was going to come out to respond, but there was just someone in a Garden Bread Man costume. Sami Zayn did come out to respond to Trick. He was logging on his full comments, and he said he still has no idea and while fans are following him, but his real fans will stick with him. Ajay even tweets a song about Sami Zayn. It wasn't playing the Ghana Bread Man was very funny the first time, and this segment was suggested because Sami Zayn was turning to the crowd, whereas supposedly if Sami Zayn sent Trick Williams out of the ring and the big fight before turning his slides to the Gunner Blade Man and hitting a curly kick that turned his head also the way around, and Trick Williams came back and hit the Trick shot to end into a full seismic. And they did the best they had with the measure they were given, but it's hard for all of these figures to keep finding ways to stretch time before the pay-per-views. So I think I just heard the crowd chanting for the Garden Bread Man was kind of funny. I just heard the crowd seemed to be moving by some of this, but there was also some moments where nobody was reacting to anything. I just called substitute things. Every year before both teams fight for the tag titles this weekend, in Solid Flu and Elizabeth battled Bailey in live Slovakia, and they got into a fight before the red called for the bill in the United States. At last and lesson went to the ring to join the ferry. At the end, and there was no match. The champions took out of both sets of thousands and the full assessment was all such in a couple of minutes. And this might help a hype to the match if more had happened, but this wasn't even close. Just in the most physical these 6 women have been a girl, so it felt like kind of lazy and wasn't how it was bold and exciting. As it looked like solid food didn't cope get gap on live pocket leg when she tried to pull her from the turnbuckle. So have on you said excited, waddle. After seemingly was already full of top superstars, was the only said excited, waddle, and when we returned from a break, Royce Keys and So Henry were in the final 2 men to head to the ring, so they were the only entrance, and we saw Kate Wilson was the first man to be eliminated from the ring. The match included a top stars, LAA like Pressure Clown and NXT stars like Sonny Hill, along with several wrestlers from Raw and Smackdown, and a few members of the MFTs reporting double duty amateur street fight oriented the show. As it wasn't a high ball to clear, but this is the most irritating thing on the title, so we got some fun spots. Irritating reminiscences in a few people who haven't had much screen time. I think we got to perform for this title crowd. So I think it came down to Otis voice keys and Charlie Tucker after remembering Otis it was keys took out Tucker and to the win to the full match and to the under the exciting trophy. And the winner of this match was Keys. After when Tucker was still doing his too depressed to wrestle and was acting into the beginning, and Mr. Aguirre was news on main event before Smackdown, so it was surprising that he wasn't included in this. Also, even after a few years of awful bookings, the crowd still loves Otis. So this is our main event. So we have the American Nightmare speaks. After the final assessment of the evening was set aside for Cody Rhodes to talk about his upcoming match against Randy Orton tomorrow night. The WWE recipient scene pump up as he asked the title crowd what they wanted to talk about. He said, and they isn't going to talk about the chemistry theory or that someone has been messing with him at WrestleMania every year. After he mentioned about Dwayne Johnson The Rock, and Travis Scott has played a part of this problem about CM Punk, so much to be surprised of Cody Rhodes and anyone into the crowd who didn't accept to see him until WrestleMania. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes said some cynical remarks about their history and talk about coming a long way from taking long sweating to bring the two top champions in WWE heading into WrestleMania. Also out of all of the non-wrestling assessments also the show that was the best Punk and Rose, all both good at controlling in the crowd in the series history of smaller past made it all work even better. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was a decent way to end this full episode. Cody Rhodes did a full entrance in his his hair and costumes from the upcoming Street Fighter movie as part of the WrestleMania before the show. The person has pretty funny seeing Punk in a suit that never felt right or very cool. Here's the final word. After the final show before any pay-per-views has to make sure it hypes all of the big matches, but that should not come as sponsor of that episode of Smackdown, investors still paid to attend a 3-hour TV tapings, and those fans had to sit through bizarre fails and non-wrestling segments. Wasn't that filled with boxing in the bottle ever since Smackdown went back to 3 hours? It has technically included 6 or 7 matches this week, so it's only had 4. It would have been 5, but one never started. So honest and excited, Bobby Roll was the only thing on the show that brought some this level of astonishment, and it felt like the right man wanted to end too. I was to be clear that the fault does not fall on the WWE superstars. They all try to do hardest with the measure they were given, but sometimes, and you can only do so much without collective team input from enlistment. I wasn't even true, and none of the full assessments were too terrible that the show as a whole was, and that it ended up interfering in grade was lower in the any assessments and from a full episode. So, speaking of Dan Hassan, so we can watch at WrestleMania tomorrow and Sunday or else that you are cursed. All of Dan Hassan in WWE. So, and they keep making him come out and doing just commercials because no one cares about him. So, this is awesome. I love the energy. I can't wait for WrestleMania tomorrow. For me, I'm so excited for this WrestleMania match. So, I think we have Secret Part 2. It dropped an entrance to Smackdown for Secret Part 2. I really hope Secret Part 2 is going to end up doing McIntyre for good. Wasn't that promo was Secret Part 2 is straight up on that police car and Drew's in for a war tomorrow. I like all Samoans such as onto the mic. He was except Walk and who is only half Samoan all to a kite. I believe when he came out in his WrestleMania match, not WrestleMania entrance. It was a grab a collar do some out, second fight to Gunner Dog, Walk to the second fight to only oh my goodness. Yes, it was gold. So here's a last one for this week's. Speaking of the assessment, added of United States champion Sami Zayn versus Drake Williams at WrestleMania 42. Why any song you sing or spin yourself blows up because and this supposedly the whole fire of wrestling promos is social media clips. I can't believe Sammy did that such a heel move on Smackdown. I think you're a monster. A part of a movie like Swag movie. So this man Trick Williams Cody brought out a golden-bladed man, and Trick keep trying the same thing on that point. So, and this is it. The same thing is sponsored by Trick Williams plans. So I think this golden-bladed man and we want Kamalo it Sammy saying, "Why are you guys mad at me? Are we serious?" The Sammy saying will remain simply this weekend. The trick is still sample in my eyes. Sammy Singh needs to go away for a long time after this weekend. So, nah, Trick is quite hurt for this. So, I think and Trick is more walking, someone walking around about commercial free or final hour. Meanwhile, it's 15 minutes after 10. So, Golden Bladed Man is getting his head spun around, was down right. Yes, it was hideous. So, I like that part on the assessment. So, most keys is served to win. So, on this exciting trophy, he is served that trophy and he owns it. So, let's go to into the final assessment. Hold that thought, Incredibles said. I just feel more responsible to take us support. The card gives maybe about speaking about TKO thing and should understand this. And it was so incredible attitude a big surprise. It was Punk, singing Punk, and parents ever we saw. I love this was a great Smackdown tonight. So I just felt a question from both Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. You're asking? Cody Rhodes and CM Punk have come a very long way since Idaho Valley Wrestling. They're supposed to be very proud of the champions they become. So, OMC, all of this hang and crying or saying, "I love you, man." Is this just how you to end a Friday night SmackDown? I feel so sorry for this. It wasn't nothing but it was of, but it wasn't that can't live up to some rudeness, aggression, era, and wasn't not attitude. Jesse was looking and cover up one always somehow seems now. The two men who Gordon cannot stand each or forced to ask the same question. It is just a night before WrestleMania. This waiting room cook on this one. So it did win what a moment for CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Honestly, that moment was boring. So I think the two Hank stories climbing path of legacy and finished business is all in one frame. And Jerry knows exactly what they doing here. This is long-term storytelling and it's a peak. I can't believe we got a live laugh. I love the announcement to lead Unity to WrestleMania. So at WrestleMania, what the hell is Cody Rhodes talking about? When he drunk? How many matches he has had in Singapore had at the big show? So here's a last one for tonight's. I think we're here to celebrate with the people. And CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are doing it all for the WWE Universe. And they are dropping both the titles apart a time explicitly. So, hey, even get a photo with us as champions because and we're both losing this weekend. It didn't win, to be honest with you guys. So, do you think CM Punk made through with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania this Sunday at 9/2? So let's find out when that plays out before. So in Cody Rhodes been going through with Pat McAfee about a few months. And this is WCW levels a favorite was a go home show of Mania and a very long time is saying how every single salesman in England has been bosses and from what it could have been who wrote all of this. So that's all we have for this week's. So let's do my YouTube polls right away. So we have 3% really liked it, 3% is alright. So let's go my Twitter polls goes. We have 3% really liked it, and 100% is alright. So I hope you guys have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at WrestleMania Breakdown tomorrow night. So I hope you guys have a great Friday, have a rest of your weekend, and I had to watch a WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026. So that's it we have today. So have a great Friday. And get more Stickle, Spotify, Occupy Spotify Radio, the podcast anything is so much more. So I hope you so have a great Friday, have a great weekend. I'll see you guys to break this down tomorrow at WrestleMania 42 for night 1. I'll see you next time. I'm going, guys. Have a great night. And I'm going to watch Hall of Fame. So, it's what you fight. It's what you fight, you guys. Have a great night. Peace.